need a certain degree of madness, controlled madness probably, to become an entrepreneur, to found a company, as I'm sure a lot of your listeners will know, because as I say, if you would have foreseen and seen all the challenges that lie ahead, no rational person would do it.
No, it makes sense. So just reflecting on that experience, obviously today it's been one of the best performing stocks in the Oslo Stock Exchange, and of course many different reasons for that, of course. But you say when you start a company, you get some battle scars, you learn a ton of new things. And do you regret on some things, or is it just learnings you take on to the next company, or what are sort of the summary after that experience? And maybe that's also a segue to say, okay, you actually wanted to go again on a new company in the same industry.
I wouldn't say there are regrets, because I'm not a person that, regrets really anything I've done. Sure, you look back and you say, do you know what? There were different ways to get to the same goal, or should have done things differently. I think regrets is a very negative way of looking at it. But for sure, I mean, there were lots and lots of key learnings that came out of having founded Flex LNG. One of those being we grew the company exceptionally quickly, from having founded it until we were probably 40, 50 employees. It took us 2 years maybe. Also, the way we went about building our presence within the market. I mean, LNG at that point in time was an established market, LNG ship owning, but of course the concept of floating LNG production was not. Although oil FPSOs, etc., had been a lot of oil and gas FPSOs had been around for decades. So there were a lot of learnings from that. And I kind of sort of told myself, I'm guessing in 2012, 2013, that the Flex LNG experience had been so intense that I sort of took the view that if I was ever going to start a company again, it would probably take many years. But then, of course, you lose yourself in new ideas. You lose yourself in people coming to you, speaking to you, picking up on trends in the industry, small tidbits here and there. And my brain sort of can collect information for years, and all of a sudden it manages sort of to put the jigsaw pieces together, or the Lego bits together. And that's really what happened. There came a natural time for me to leave Flex LNG. At that point in time, Fredriksen Group had taken control. I was in Singapore. There wasn't really a natural role for me there, because I wasn't really needed. And as a consequence, the decision was made to come back to the UK, because I was originally living in the UK before, when we founded Flex LNG. Come back to the UK, and at that point in time, I sort of spotted what I thought would become a very interesting trend, interesting thing to do over the next couple of years. I thought maybe 3 or 4 years. Here we are 9 years on. But that was really about using a lot of the knowledge I had from the gas industry, because of course LNG is gas, but not apply it to shipping, but apply it to road transport. And people say, well, you're going from shipping to road transport. I mean, how do those link together? Well, there are actually quite a lot of similarities. You're dealing with large companies. A lot of our companies are large corporates today: DHL, Amazon, Royal Mail, etc. And you do the same in the LNG world, although there you're dealing with the Shells and the BPs of the world. So there are quite a lot of similarities. You're dealing with large international companies. And then, of course, come to 2013, 2014, etc., there was a strong focus, or there was I would say strong focus, but there was an emerging focus of decarbonizing. And how can you remove greenhouse gas emissions from your operations? So the idea was born to start focusing on decarbonizing long haul or heavy trucks, if you want, here in the UK. And doing that, not going down the biodiesel route or the hydrogen route or the battery electric route, but using a part of the world that I knew very well, which is gas. and biomethane, which is called biogas in the Nordics, but which is a renewable and sustainable gas is produced from waste feedstocks, whether that's sewage sludge or it's food waste, manures, etc., etc.